You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go. I just kept on doing what I was supposed to do. So you've got to be willing to stay focused, to be creative, to be relentless, because things are going to happen to you when you're working on your dream. When you got an idea you want to move on, you might not have the money, you might not have the education, you might not have the support or the resources you need. What is that something that can keep us going, that will enable us to act on our dream? What's one of those keys that will begin to help us to discover the secrets to our dream? That's all I want you to do when you look at your dream. Just say to yourself every day, it's possible. Just say that every day to yourself, it's possible. Because what does that do? See, it begins to change your belief system. See, the way in which we operate, ladies and gentlemen, it's a manifestation of what we believe, what's possible for us. Whatever you've done up to this point, all that it really is a duplication, it's a reproduction of what you believe subconsciously that you deserve and what's possible for your life. Most people operate out of their personal history, out of their memory, things they've done, things they've experienced, things they've seen.
Good morning, beautiful people. It's a new day. Come on in here. Come on in here. Join me. Join me. I'm excited about this morning. I have a lot of things to do today, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys this morning. Do me a favor. If you haven't been updated yet, we're live on YouTube as well. So please do me a favor and share. Tell somebody, go check out Ricardo on YouTube. We're going to talk about this morning. But here's the deal. I believe with my whole heart, it is the will of God for us to succeed in every area of our lives. Okay? I believe it is the will of God for us to succeed in every area of our lives. However, most people don't realize that you've got to be intentional. Okay, you're going to have to be intentional. So what I've decided then is every Friday, I'm going to open up the chat and I'm going to allow people to ask questions and we're going to talk about them. Okay, so Jamal, good morning. Good morning to those of you that are in the Bahamas. Good morning to those of you that are in Jamaica. Listen, what's going on, Canada? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Now, Vito, how is everything there in Freeport, Bahamas? Vito, the clock is ticking. We're coming. Vito, we're coming to Freeport in a short while. It's going to be good, y'all. It's going to be good. Megs, I'm excited. Freeport, Bahamas, get ready. Okay? Megs, you are near Canada right now. She is something else. Amazing woman of God. So this morning, I really want to talk about this. This week, we've been dealing with this whole concept of mind your business. How and what do I need to do to take care of my affairs? Okay, what do I need to do to take care of my affairs? There is so much noise in the world. Beautiful people, there is so much noise in the world. And there are a lot of people who are wondering, oh man, I want better. But here's the deal. Better is not going to just come to you. Better has to be something that you're intentional about acquiring. Okay, better is not going to just come to you. You got to know better is not going to just come. You're going to have to be very intentional about your next move. Okay, you're going to have to be very intentional about your next move. So do me a favor, Miss Phyllis, you can go ahead and ask your questions in the chat. I'm going to answer the questions. I've also went ahead and put the link inside of the caption. So if you want to just talk to me live and be a part of this morning's session, you can do that. Okay, we're about to turn it up. Okay, so go ahead and tell me where you're located. Megs just told me where she's at, and how is things where you are? Okay, how are things where you are? So we're live on my YouTube channel. We're going to be doing this thing on Friday morning. Friday mornings, guys, this is the day where you get the chance to ask your questions. Angela, you got a question? Go ahead, ask your question, okay? What's on your mind? What's on your mind, beautiful people? What's on your mind? Don't be afraid to ask the question. Ready or not, here you come. This is your time. This is your time. Why? What keeps people back? What keeps people back? What keeps people back from staying in their lane? Why is it that so many people are struggling with staying in their lane? Why is it that there are so many people struggling with staying in their lane? What's keeping you back from struggling in your lane? I mean, like what keeps you back? What's been keeping you back from capitalizing on your giftings and your ability to excel in all that God has called you to do? I'm really interested. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. Okay, I want to know. So please go ahead and let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right. So this morning it's all about, I'm on a journey, which effective living is all about the journey. It's not the destination. There are too many people who have said, if I only can get the house, if I can get the car, if I can get the degree, if I can get the raise, if I can get the man, if I can get the woman, if I can get the corner office, I would be happy. And the truth is, I have met people with all of those things that are not happy. I have met people with all of those things who are not happy. So this morning, let's go in and let's talk about it. Let's go in and let's talk about it. What's holding you back? You're talented, but you're not excelling at the level that God has called you to excel. Okay? You're educated, but you're still not excelling. You're still not excelling at the level of your education. Okay, you're the most gifted person in your circle, but yet you still find yourself with some major struggles. What's going on there? I want to talk to you. I want us to dissect this thing, and it's going to take me, I believe, a little while for people to start to realize, hey, I can actually jump in on Coach Ricardo Miller on Friday mornings and literally talk with the dude straight up. I want to talk to you straight up, straightforward, straight up. And we're live on YouTube right now. If this is your first time watching me on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. Put on that notification bell so you'll be able to keep up to date with all that's happening, is happening. Let's see what's going on here. This question, Miss Linda, they didn't give me authorization to show your name. Okay, but I can see you on my phone device, but I can't see you on my big screen. Okay, how can you be around people who are jealous and don't mean you well, but you can't avoid them? I love that question. I think that's a great question. Thank you for asking that question. I hope a bunch of you guys will put in some questions in the chat. A lot of people don't mean you well. As a matter of fact, I believe that there are a lot of people in the world, but I believe there are a lot of people who don't mean us well, and they don't even know that they don't mean us well sometimes, meaning they just have bad habits. They're dealing with envy, they're dealing with jealousy, they're dealing with disappointments, they're dealing with all kinds of internal struggles that oftentimes shows up in jealousy, shows up in anger, shows up in different levels of frustration. And here's the deal. This actually has more to do with you than to do with them. Let me say that again. This question has more to do with you than to do with them. Let me tell you why. See, people got so much issues going on in their life. People got so much issues going on, childhood trauma, just bad relationship issues. major disappointments in their lives, lack of achievement in their careers, and then they see you, and you look like you got it going on. You look like whatever you put your hands to prosper. You look like, man, you're blessed going out, blessed coming in. I mean, you got it going on. So yeah, jealousy is going to be around the table. Everybody wasn't pleased with what Jesus was doing. That's why one of them betrayed him. Okay, everybody wasn't pleased with what Jesus was doing. That's why somebody betrayed him, right? So here's the deal. This is what I got to say. When it comes to jealous people, envious people, when it comes to people who don't mean you well at the core, I believe that it is super important. I believe that it is very important that you embark on this whole understanding of I have to guard myself. I have to protect myself. So it's an attitude thing. Okay, it starts with you having the right attitude. I know you're at the table, but I'm not going to allow you to disturb my spirit. I know you're at the table. I know you're among me. I know that you are with me, but you're not for me. But God is going to use you to help me to get to where I'm trying to go. Let me say it again. God is going to use you to get me to where I'm trying to go. So what I don't need to do is I don't need to push Judas away from the table. I just need to be aware that Judas is at the table. Okay? I don't need to push Judas away from the table. I don't need to push the jealous people away from me. I just need to know who's jealous. I just need to know who is envious. And then watch this. I need to acquire the skill set to where my attitude doesn't change. Okay? Because I'm aware of who you are. The Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence. So I'm aware of who's not for me. But I know that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Okay? And I know that along the way, even Judas has a role to play in me fulfilling destiny. Judas has a role to play in me fulfilling destiny. That's why it's more about you addressing you than you trying to deal with Judas. Don't deal with Judas, manage you. So here's the deal. You become a more dangerous person when you don't get distracted. Okay? When you don't get distracted by what you see. When you don't get distracted by what you sense, but you continue to function in the confidence of knowing God is here with me. God is navigating me through this. And I see what you are doing, and I don't like what you're doing, but I have a responsibility to keep the right attitude. I'm not going to let you mess with my spirit. Okay, so for the jealous people, and let me tell you something, jealous people come in all forms. They come in all sizes. They come with all ages. And so you just got to guard yourself. You can have parents who are jealous with you. You can have siblings who are jealous of you. You can have co-workers who are jealous of you. You can have neighbors who are jealous of you. And let me tell you something, there is nothing like learning how to love those who think they don't mean you well, or everyone knows that person is somewhat jealous of you, and you are flying above their attitude and their ways. You're flying above their attitude and their ways because you understand you don't want to put Judas away from the table before Judas hang himself. Okay? You don't want to put Judas away from the table before Judas hang himself. Judas is going to be dealt with by Judas. Okay? You are responsible to do you. And here's the deal. We get in the way of our destiny by trying to respond based on our feelings. Okay? All right? You and I, we get in the way when we try to respond based on our feelings. Don't let your feelings be your guide. Let your vision be your guide. Jesus knew he came to go to the cross. And let me tell you something. On his way to the cross, he needed betrayal to get there. Okay, he needed betrayal. Now, here's the deal. Betrayal, here's the deal. Here's the beautiful thing about betrayal. Somebody said there's nothing beautiful about betrayal. Yeah, there's something beautiful about betrayal when it's purposeful, because a person can betray you who is not close to you. Betrayal, the whole term betrayal, is based in the fact that they have access to you. Okay? Jealousy at its core really is felt more when the person who is jealous actually is dealing with you, and you feel that they shouldn't be jealous because you're my neighbor. Why are you jealous? You're my sister. Why are you jealous? You're my brother. Why are you jealous? You're my dad. Why are you jealous? But jealousy comes in all form. So I salute you. Thank you for asking that question. A lot of people are too distracted on their way to living life effectively because of the jealous energy that they feel. You have to learn how to fly above that. You have to learn how to live above jealousy, because the truth is, jealousy is a demon. Jealousy is a spirit. And the people who are functioning in that spirit sometimes don't even know the depth of their behavior, but the depth of their behavior is beyond you, you know. Remind yourself of this. The jealous person isn't really fighting and dealing with a battle with you. The jealous person is fighting and dealing with a battle with something about themselves that they haven't addressed. That's strong right there. The jealous person is dealing with something they haven't addressed within themselves. And you got to now tell yourself, oh, it's so sad that my sister is jealous of me. It's so sad that my dad is jealous of me. It's so sad that my friend, we went off to college together and she's jealous of me. Let her be jealous and allow herself to let God help her with her jealousy. But jealousy is a root issue within the person. It has nothing to do with you. Keep shining. So if I can get what 10 of you all to tell yourself, I'm not dimming my light for anybody. Okay? Come on, go ahead and do that for me. I am not dimming my light for anybody. Go ahead and push that up. Because if you're jealous, you go put on some shades to try to deal with this shine that's coming from me, because I am not dimming my light for anybody. Okay, I think I have another question. I'm interested in some questions. Miss Evelyn, go ahead, put a question in the chat. I think some people don't know where to start. They know what they want, but just don't know how and where to begin, because it can become overwhelming. What is your advice to those who feel that way? Where do I start? Where do I start? Such a good question. I am overwhelmed. I have so much on my plate. I'm trying to get to a place called there. There is where destiny presides. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get to that place where I like who I am and I like all that my life is reflecting. Well, let me tell you how and where to start. Most people, Miss Cynthia, most people are thrown off by the big picture. And that's where overwhelm comes from. I was talking to my son about this not so long ago. They're looking at the big picture and they get overwhelmed by all that they want to acquire. Okay? They get caught up by all that they want to acquire. Here's what I advise. And it's biblical. He who is faithful with little is faithful with much. Where do you start? You start with being faithful with where you are. You start with small steps. Okay, you start with the whole concept of first. The Bible says this. Number one, here's a couple of things for that question, Ms. Cynthia. For the person who feels overwhelmed by starting and there's something in their heart that they want to acquire, number one, write it down. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to acquire? Don't just let it stay in your head. Allowing too much to go on in your head allows for overwhelmingness to enter at a high level. In other words, I got so much going on in my head. Then what you need to do is start practicing journaling. Go ahead and sit down and write out what you perceive you're seeing. The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. So I want to encourage you to write. Okay. So you start writing what's in your heart. This is what I want to do in the next year. This is what I want to do in the next 3 years. This is what I want to do in the next 5 years. Then the second part, after you've written what you sense is what you should be about, the second thing is go ahead and itemize them. Start organizing what you perceive you want to do. Okay, organize them in parts. In other words, needs to be done right away, which is very important. Then it's important and not so urgent. Okay, and so it starts with very important. I need to get this first. When you look at your list, I need to get this first. Somebody say, well, I want to start a business, but I don't have any money. So maybe if you want to start a business, you may want to get a job first to make some money to be able to kickstart the business. Okay? So because you got a money issue. And so a lot of times, I want to start this big venture, but you haven't taken the time to write down the small steps, the phases. I'm a big advocate for phases. Okay? I'm a big proponent of phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I'm working phases all my life. Before I hit 50, I'm 48 in October. Before I hit 50, I have this rolling out plan that I'm working on for me. See, your life is a reflection of the plans that you've rolled out for your life up to this point. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, when you place priority, then you have to start being faithful with little, faithful with time management, faithful with the little money you have, faithful with the resources that you have, faithful with the small or the little connections that you have. I don't know a lot of people, but who you know you're not doing well with. Well, I need an office, but you got a home space you're not capitalizing on. Listen, well, I need more money. Well, you're not actually being good steward over the money you currently have. If you want to do well, don't think about the big picture, what you're in pursuit of. Think about the small baby steps that will get you in alignment of fulfilling what you're trying to acquire. So I think it's just important for first writing it down. Second, organize how you're going to do what you do, and then be faithful. Start where you can. Start where you can. It's like saying one day I want to own a store. But you know what? For right now, I'm going to go to Sam's Club and I'm going to buy the assorted Snickers, M&Ms, and a box with 52 in it. And they charge $23. I'm going to charge $1.50, and I'm going to make double, okay, or almost double of what I pay for it. And then I'm going to buy another box of it. I'm going to have one at my girlfriend's reception desk, and I'm going to have one at the school reception desk, and I'm going to have one at another office reception desk, and I'm going to start cashing in because I don't have a store yet, but I have an enterprise. I have these chocolate boxes that I place at different offices, and on Fridays, I go ahead and pick up my chocolate boxes that are empty with money now being collected from these multiple locations. Okay, so then I go back to Sam's Club, fill my trunk up with 7 boxes. When I started with 1, now I'm at 7 boxes, and I'm being faithful, and I'm starting to organize and utilize what God has called me to do in a small way to get to where I'm trying to go. Next question. Keep those questions coming, guys. Keep those questions coming. Okay, the question here is, how do you keep pushing towards your dream when it means opening up yourself to the world? I know people will find fault. Oh, such a great question. If you don't fulfill your purpose, people are going to find fault. Oh my God, she's so talented and broke. I can't believe she's that educated and ain't going nowhere. You mean to tell me she was top of her class and still ain't figured out how to make a difference in the world yet? People will have their view of you. How do you keep pushing towards your dream? Write this down. It's called laser focus. Okay, it's called laser focus. The truth is, you got to remember, everybody has something within their heart. The people who you see are accomplishing what's in their heart are the people who have figured out a level of focus, a level of determination, a level of drive that has caused them to show up in the world and put forth more effort than other people. You got to get to the point where you start to realize, I am so committed to becoming the person that I was created to be that I am no longer caring about what people think of me. Let me tell you this. For me, I have this platform, and there are a lot of opinions about me. There's a lot of opinions about me. But the one thing I've chosen to make a commitment to do is never stop giving up on my dream and making a commitment to figure out how to improve within it every day. I'm never giving up on what God has called me to do. You can't even pay me to shut down my dream. You can't pay me to stop thinking about what I feel as though I've been called to do. No money. It's because it's not about money. Purpose is bigger than money. Okay? Purpose is bigger than money. When you find your purpose, you will be a fool to let somebody buy you out of what you've been called to do. That's where you'll find regret down the street, and that's where you will find the highest level of dissatisfaction, because you would have sold your soul, because your purpose is connected to your very inner core. Now, in regards to people, when the question is asked, how do you keep pushing towards your dream? It's your dream. And your dream is never going to be fulfilled unless you get up and roll up your sleeve and realize, I have to do Uber, I have to work a second job, I have to work a third job. And let me tell you something, I have to ask people to buy stuff that I've never thought I wanted. I don't like asking people for stuff. In order for your dream to be fulfilled, you're going to have to learn how to ask people for stuff. Okay? Well, I don't want to ask people, then you're not going to get your dream fulfilled. That whole concept, when it means opening up yourself, what is that? That term, opening up yourself, speaks to the discovery of the greatness within. There is no discovery of the greatness within without opening up yourself. Okay? There is no discovery of the greatness within without opening up yourself. As a matter of fact, here's the deal. The more you understand your strength, the more you would have identified your weaknesses as well. The more you identify your weaknesses and your strength, and you capitalize on your strength, and you give very little concern about your weaknesses and people's opinions of your weaknesses, the more you're going to set yourself up to win. Okay, so people are going to find fault. Most people who are struggling with people finding fault haven't addressed their inadequacies among themselves, just within themselves. Okay, I have a lot of shortcomings. Okay, I mispronounce words. I don't read well. I definitely don't spell well. I'm not the best speller at all. I've never been. Okay, I've never been the smartest kid in the class, but I'm brilliant. My mind is amazing. The way I think is phenomenal. I think I'm borderline genius in one part, and I think I'm super dyslexia on the other side. Okay? But at the end of the day, I'm not allowing my deficiencies to govern me. Okay? I'm not allowing, you cannot allow the fault finding to be the thing that causes you not to get out of bed and fulfill your dreams. Remind yourself, someone is going to always find fault. Okay? The lady who got the little chicken spot in her kitchen trying to make something happen goes to a Chick-fil-A and complain about a Chick-fil-A. How in the world you could complain about a Chick-fil-A? And you just got your little project going in your kitchen. Then there are some people who ain't got no project going. And guess what? They come and see your kitchen operation going and you making money. Somebody called me up the other day and said, bro, I got about 20 things you could do with your platform. And I said, well, what are you doing with your platform? They said, well, here's what I'm doing. I said, how much money you making? They said, well, I ain't making no money yet. Well, I said, I'm making money. Shark Tank, if you ain't making no money, it's a hobby. If you ain't making no money, that ain't no business. This is a business, man. I'm making some money. Yeah. Oh, well, I think you should do this better, and I think you should do this better. That's because they believe I could be doing better. Thank you for believing I could be doing better. That's because they're finding fault in what I'm doing. Thank you for taking the time to be paying attention to me that much that you're missing the window of opportunity given to you on a daily basis to figure out you. Forget focusing on everybody else's faults. People, get the beam out of your own eye and start focusing on acquiring what is necessary for you to fulfill your dreams. Oh man, I said I talked too long on that one. Okay, that was a big one though. Let's go to another question. Let's see if there's any more questions. Thank you guys for popping in here and being a part of my morning session. I want to do these every Friday morning. I want some more questions. What's the questions at hand? Okay, many people try so hard to remain humble that they don't aspire to reach their potential. How do we find balance between achieving our best while not seeming self-absorbed to others? Such a great question. Woo! I'm loving these Friday mornings, man. I'm gonna have to keep these Friday mornings going. Come on, ask the questions. Send the questions in early. I'll try my best to answer all the questions. Okay? Because too many people try so hard to remain humble. Why do you have to try hard to remain humble? The Bible say, be humble. The Bible say, humble yourself. So here's the deal. A lot of people, when they think about the term humble, has a misconception of the idea humble. A lot of people have labeled confidence as humble. Sorry, a lot of people have labeled confidence as arrogant. Okay? A lot of people have overplayed the term humble in their whole dynamics to where they're now functioning not from a humble state, but more from a weak position. Okay? You're not humble, you're weak. Okay? Because a lot of times the truth is what we perceive as humble isn't humble, but weak. Just it's too reserved. It's too meek. It's too passive. It's too non-engaged. And so what I'm saying here is it's very important for you to understand what is humble, okay, and what is confidence. And understand that some people will judge your confidence and call it arrogance. But if you haven't figured out who you are, okay, if you haven't figured out who you are, you will constantly be turning down the dial, trying to fit other people's view. Okay? Somebody said to me, hey, brother, don't ever change. What do you mean don't ever change? Everything's changing. I'm going to change. Not only am I going to change, I'm going to excel because I'm changing. Oh, let me tell you something. Don't let it get to your head. It needs to get to your head. As a man thinketh, so is he. Your life will change from your head. Think about that. Oh, listen, don't let it get to you. Well, you know what they're trying to mean. Look at those two statements. Kamara, listen to the statement. Don't let it get to your head. Your life changes from your head. Okay? Most people who are telling you that is trying to get you to stay in affiliation to their level, when the truth is they're seeing something in you that has the potential to take you beyond where they are. And they're trying to hold you back. Another one is, watch this, don't ever forget where you came from. Yeah, I don't want to forget where I came from, but I don't ever want to go back from where I came from either. Okay, I don't want to forget where I came from, but I don't want to go back to where I came from. So what I'm saying here is, guys, self-discovery is very important, because the people who win in life are the people who are confident in showing up and extracting what they can out of life. Let me say that again. The people who are more inclined to win in life, Joanne, the people who are inclined to win in life are the people who show up and they extract more from their days, weeks, and months because of a level of determination, because of a level of grit, a level of drive, a level of passion. And all of those words, when you put them into your life, people think you're too much. Whenever people use the term you're too much, that is also leaning towards he's not humble. He is conceited. He is all into himself. Well, who else is going to be into me maximizing my potential? Who else is going to be into me breaking generational curses? Who else is going to be into me finding the 7 and the 8 figure numbers? Who else is going to be into me getting all that God has placed within me out of me? No one is responsible for you but you. Now, here's where humble has its place. Okay? Humble has its place in you knowing Who? You knowing I'm not better than anybody else. Humble has its place in there's a time when I'm in charge and I need to step up to the plate. And then there's a time where I am a base, meaning I need to submit myself to someone else. That's humble. Humble is knowing you don't know everything and you're willing to allow someone else to help you where you are deficient. Humble is you don't have to be in charge. Humble is when it's your time, you show up. When it's not your time, you allow those who time it is to step up to the plate and be who they've been called to be. The truth is, all of us need to go ahead and one, discover what is true confidence, and two, the misunderstanding of the role humble have its play in our life. Some of us have been so psychologically twisted in our heads from children. And it suppressed the greatness within us. So the role you want demands that you have 10x confidence. The role you've been given by God demands that you show up and be like that of a Kirk Franklin energy. But people got a problem with Kirk. Be like Barack Obama, but people got a problem with Barack Obama. Be like Michelle Obama. People got a problem with Michelle Obama. Be like Joyce Meyer. People got a problem with Joyce Meyer. Be like T.D. Jakes. People got a problem with T.D. Jakes. Be like, Joel Osteen. People got a problem with Joel Osteen. People are going to always have a problem. People are going to always have a problem. The question is, when you lay down at night, are you satisfied with how you showed up? Somebody says, well, I think, somebody didn't like how I said that. See, you're struggling with failing to accept. You were supposed to deliver what you delivered, and other people need to figure out how to extract from you what you delivered. But some people, they're so caught up on judging you, and now you're caught up on watching them judge you, that you're not continuing to sharpen yourself to get to where you're trying to go. That's where I am in this stage of my life. I know I don't have it all together. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to focus on the 8 billion people on the planet judgment of me, which 8 billion people on the planet aren't judging me. Just a matter of fact, there ain't even 100 people probably judging me. But the truth is, whatever amount of people that is that's having an opinion of me, it doesn't matter. The first and only opinion that matters to me is God's opinion of me. Okay, and there will be moments where you can get on your knees and you can kiss feet and people will still call you names and they'll still misjudge you. So forget the misjudging and let it be what it is. All right, let's go on and see if we got one more we can take before I'm done for today. We're going to go back tomorrow, next week. Okay, let's go. Who blessed me? Somebody blessed me. Look at that. I am seeing you guys. Thank you all so much for showing up. Thank you so much for showing up. Any other questions before I close out this morning's session? Such a great one right here. Okay. How can you remain humble, but yet not dumb down your greatness and gift, especially around others? Once again, I like that question. I think it's a misunderstanding on what the term humble is. We need to ask ourselves, where did we get our root cause for establishing that's not humble? Okay? Because here's the deal. The vast majority of shining your light, people are going to label too much. Or the term too much comes from an overextension of who you are in comparison to people. When you are showing up a lot in the world, a lot of people have a problem with that. So dimming down will demand for you not to show up. And when you don't show up, guess what? You don't excel. And there comes a time, watch this, you have to be, all due respect to you, brother. Is there not a cause? Is there not an issue? There's a giant that needs to be killed. This is my last question, y'all. I'm answering this one. Thank you, Angela. There's a giant that needs to be killed. There's an entire army out here. Nobody has raised their hands to kill the giant. What I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my hands. But why aren't you dealing with them dumb sheep? Well, I came to solve a problem initially by bringing you guys lunch. I'm a problem solver. And when you're a problem solver and you raise your hands, people are not going to like that. And that's not dumbing down. That's actually standing up. And so the whole term, I believe, a lot of us who struggle with, I don't want people to think I'm not humble. Well, you're not dealing with yourself at the core, because the proper question needs to be, why am I so concerned about people's view of me being humble? Why am I not more concerned about letting my light shine so God can be glorified? David represents a phenomenal example. David bypasses his brother and goes up and says, what will be done for the man? That is considered, based on biblical text, when we look at that story, that is arrogant and conceited in David's part. If the world was judging David, they would say he is so arrogant and so conceited. Look at who we think he is. Okay? But David raised his hands. I think it was actually humble to raise his hands. I think it was humble for him to know that, hey, I can't do this in and of myself. When he says, you can't go and fight him, he said, no, I'm not going to go and fight him. I'm going to let the God who was with me when I kill the lion and the bear, that God is going to be with me when I take this giant out. I think it was humble for him to know, I can't do this without God. I can't do this without God. And the Bible says that Saul looked at David and saw that the Lord was with him. The Lord was with him. But David was confident. And David didn't dumb down and walked off and went back to dealing with the sheep like his brother would have suggested. You don't need to be here. But here's the deal. Here's another very confident statement that the king, come on, the king could have actually said, this is one little conceited boy, eh? I offered you my sword and I offered you my shield, and you went ahead and told me I'm not going to use those. Oh, sir, I'm not going to use your sword. I'm not going to use your shield. What in the world? This little boy, you know this is the best sword. You know this is the best shield out here. David stood up. And that's what you're going to have to do, Angela. That's what all of us are going to have to do. We're going to have to see the cause that's in the earth. You're going to have to see the problem that is in the earth. I said, I've been called for such a time as this. I have been called. I'm going to mind my business. And minding my business is solving my problems. In other words, the problems that I've been called to solve, I'm going to solve them. Now, there are some people who are not going to like, I've raised my hands to solve the problem. There are some people who are not going to like the fact that I've declined to solve the problem the way they would have solved the problem. There are some people that's going to not like that I don't have any experience. I don't have any experience. Who give him the rights? Who give him the rights to talk to the king? He is not a man of war. God's with him. And if God be for you, let me tell you something. If God is with you, show up. Show up like David did and learn how to stand your ground. Angela, the whole term, stand your ground, go against people and their view of humble. He's not humble. He's not humble. She's not humble because you know how to stand your ground. David knew had he gone out there with a sword and a shield, he would have died that day. Had David gone out there with a sword and a shield, he would have died that day. I am here today to tell you, don't allow people's opinions of you to become so caught up in your mind that you're now judging yourself in view of what you think they're thinking of you, and you're missing your window to kill giants. I'm a giant killer, okay? I'm a giant killer. You're a giant killer. We're all giant killers. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to stand your ground. Okay, you're going to have to stand your ground. And so that means, in closing, you have to learn how to grow what they call backbone. I have to know not everybody's going to like me. I have to know that some people are going to judge me, and that's on them. Most people's judgment aren't right because most people didn't come close enough to assess me, to know me, to actually get the proper judgment of me. And the truth is, who cares about their judgment when you're more about what is God saying for me to do today? Everybody's opinion of me doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. I had to work on that. I had to work on that. I had to work on the fact that I don't have the best of anything, but I have what I have, and I'm going to be faithful with what God has given me, which is now making it the best of everything. I have the best of everything because initially I didn't have the best of everything, and I made a way of being responsible and being a good steward of that which He gave me, and now I feel as though I do have the best of everything. Sounds like an oxymoron, but it is the truth. I'm saying to you, don't ever dim your light because of other people's opinions of you. You're on your way to doing something that only God can have for you to fulfill in the earth, and there is going to be a lot of opinion. I'm closing with this. A lot of people, if you look at it, most of their issues are not personal, Most of their issues are external. What everybody else think, what everybody else is doing, when the truth is, most of us have not addressed these subjects within ourselves. The fact that you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, the fact that someone is going to judge you, and that's their opinion and they have a right. Somebody can say whatever they want to say about me. That's their right. But the truth is, as long as you're killing giants and you're partnering with the king to help the nation in honor of God, let me tell you something. Keep doing big things. I'm Ricardo Miller, and I'm challenging you. Make a commitment to excel in all that you put your hands to. You got to decide whatever deficiencies that you've identified that has been keeping you back, address those deficiencies. Don't allow yourself to play small when God is calling you to a higher level. Well, coach, people going to say, you're not delivered yet. You need to get delivered. Get delivered from people. Father, in the name of Jesus, may you deliver us from people. May you help us to learn how to function within our lane. May you help us to remain humble. May you help us to remain conscious. May you help us to function within purpose. May you help us to identify the greatness within and help us to stay focusing on that on a daily basis. Father, allow us to be so aligned with what you have called us to do that we don't allow the energy from the outside to affect the inside. You said in your word, guard our hearts with all diligence. Help us to do that well. Help us to love humanity and serve humanity to the fullest so that when it's all said and done, we will hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant. I bless each and every person who is watching this live this morning and those who will watch it later. I'm asking you, God, to help us all to excel in what we put our hands to. May the weapons that try to form, may it not prosper. May we excel and close this year out in a great way. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Can I get about 10 of you just to shout amen? God bless you guys. Have a great day. Remind yourself, you are responsible for fulfilling your purpose, for maximizing your potential. Remember, every Friday, you get a chance to dive in here, ask questions. I would love to answer questions live. Jamal, you need to plan to do a live session with me. Angela, maybe next Friday, Angela, you have some good questions. Come on in and jump in with me, Angela, and let's do a live. Megs, let's throw the questions out there that people want to ask, but nobody's asking, but yet it needs to be asked because the struggle is real. The struggle is real. I love and appreciate you all. Thank you for believing in effective living. Thank you for being an effective living ambassador. I will see you guys in our exclusive group coaching community on Monday, and I'll be back here on YouTube on Friday with another Friday morning questions with Coach Ricardo Miller. God bless you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.